Hello, this is Paul from Strands Recommender, and this video is about placing recommendation panels on your website. If you remember from the previous video, we actually created the widget that will actually go onto the page itself, but now we actually need to actually go from creating it to actually applying it to our page. So, if you'll remember from the previous video, I had this generic little test store I set up with this multi-listing page. I was looking at one particular item here. So what we need to do is now log into our account. Go to widgets, and we're going to use the new widget creation tool mapped off the very top of the page here. If you remember from the previous video, we've already actually created it. Now it's time to do the actual integration. So I'm using PHP to just echo out a lot of my code on the page, excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. So the single ticks are the echo statements, the dots are the append, and user ID is of course the ID I'll be using. Looks like a little typo there. And for item ID, I've called it product ID. So after completing all that, I now have this populated div tag, which is actually going to go straight in my page. And in my text browser, before we navigate off here, it's also important to remember that you don't have to put this JavaScript call at the end if you've already added a visit event, any other behavioral event, something we did in one of the earlier videos if you noticed. And if you look down here, this is where I've already pasted that. So this is my tracking event for a visit right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and add it right after that and save it. I've sort of cheated here a little bit in that I've just used some simple table structuring. On the left is the table element for the primary item. On the right side is another table element for what will be the recommendation panels. Obviously, I'm just using basic table structure just for simplicity's sake. So I'm going to go ahead and reload the page, and bam, there we go. We have used a JavaScript widget to create the recommendation panels, and there they are. Obviously, you're going to want to do some much more elegant display engineering than what I've done here. This is very bare bones, but this is just to illustrate the proof of concept of how you get the recommendations up and on your site. So there you go. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.